Hello, welcome to the latest episode of Late and Live, our regular reselling show. I'm joined here by Pete. How are you, Pete?
I'm good. Very, very hot today.
Yeah, it's been good. And what about you, Nick? You okay?
Yeah, sweltering. Yeah, it's been glorious. Just taking the dog out and it's virtually dark and it's still really warm.
Yeah, it rained a bit earlier, but it's fine again now. So
Yes.
good. How is everybody's eBay going?
Not good at the moment. The last sort of week has been kind of pretty mediocre, and then today I hardly had any sales at all. And I've really been trying to push older stuff out my store because I just kind of got that feeling it's been hanging around for ages. So I've been really aggressive with reviewing it. I've been promoting it at 10%. Some of the older stuff.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Talk about that. That's had a drastic effect on doing nothing. So yeah, lots of I kind of got that feeling that the older stuff was weighing it down, and I've got some stuff which will be donating. So I've gone through and got like a few crates of that. But yeah, it's been quite difficult, but I'm keeping at it. I think that's you've got to do it. The weird thing I notice is, and I did chat about this ages ago, that when I look at my solds, so I could take my last 100 solds or 200 solds, you go through them all, and it's all kind of like all pretty much listed in the last month or two. It's really weird that, and almost like 90%. And it makes you think, well, if I've got a load of old stuff on my store, what are the actual odds of it going?
Yeah, we all get stuck with the old crap because it doesn't sell.
Yeah, it's it. Yeah.
What about you, Nick? How's the sales been for you?
Today, shocking. I've had more returns open than total of sales. Generally, it's pretty erratic. I have some really good days and some days like today where I might as well have just stayed in bed,
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Nick. It kind of makes me feel better. Someone else has had a bad day. Now, I want everyone to have a good day, but you can't. Sometimes you do sit here and think, is it me?
I'm on £13.94 today, and I've got a £75 refund to process.
Yeah,
that sounds very similar to me. I was on £12.99 with 2 open returns from today.
I think I'm on zero.
I was in the negative.
Yeah, I'm in the
It's
negative.
not good when it's in the negatives.
I think someone's unplugged the computer at eBay.
eBay.
The sales computer, the one that registers all the sales. So that one's not working. That's what it is.
Right, so say hello to a few people in the side chat. We've got Uncle Albert. During the war, we didn't have any promoted listens to complain about.
During the war, dear boy.
Yeah. So hi, Uncle Albert. Hi, Chris. Legends in. Let me go down. Ellie Evans in. Hi, Ellie. Sai, I assume that is. Hi. Thanks for joining. Aaron's in. Marylis. Neil's in. Hi, Neil. Hi, Peter, Monkey Thrifter.
Oh, Neil, I've got some labels for you now if you wanted to pop round while I've got your attention.
You're supplying eBay packaging now.
No, I wouldn't do such a thing.
Maria, she goes to my local boot fairs, and Lee used to as well. He's moved recently, but both of those are sort of local people to me. So good to see you in the chat.
Hey, thanks for joining. Antoinette's in. Chop, busy. Johnny. Hi, Drico, I assume. Hiya. Keith's in. Hi, Keith. George is in. I think that's at the bottom of the chat. Can't forget Richard. Richard's in. Mustn't forget Richard, I'll get in trouble. Peter's got some returns. Never had so many. Expecting messages now. I am not working. They're giving me positive feedback. Well, at least that's a good thing. Then at least you haven't got like a stupid buy who leaves negative and stuff like that. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, we had. I've got a return for a record, which apparently is skipping, and we've got a return on some ceramics, which don't match the ones they bought them for. It's like, well, look at the pictures. I mean, come on.
That must be annoying because I don't think I get many ceramic returns, luckily. But
we don't touch wood, no.
If they send them back, you've got to rely on them packaging it, in a decent enough way. Otherwise, they're just going to arrive smashed, and as we all know, we've got to still refund.
Yeah.
So that's a risk, isn't it? That must be really annoying.
I'll let you know how that goes.
I got a return on it was just a clock radio. It was like just a £12 sale or something, but they bought it over 30 days ago, and I kind of thought that eBay would not also accept those, but they still do, because it is over the 30 days. I mean, I kind of have it's a genuine return because they've sent photos and said what they thought it. But I mean, it
was over. It doesn't auto accept.
Yeah, it auto accepted it. Yeah. It was the reason was item defect, or it was the LCD screen wasn't showing. But yeah, it went through automatically accepted, label produced. So I might ring eBay and sort of say, you shouldn't have done that. Really, can I have the postage back? Because I don't know how much the postage is on those things. It's about kind of like £3 or £4, I think.
£3.30 or something like that. It's quite reasonable, I suppose, but it's still not.
It's still a pain when you kind of think, you should have given me the chance to decline it. So.
Yeah, definitely. Haggis Lover is in, so is Jason, and just me.
I can quickly answer that question. Uncle Albert says, do you advertise your vintage vinyl records to be skip free? What are buyers thinking? I don't play test them, so no, I don't advertise them as skip free. Unless it's a particularly valuable thing that I will play test and declare any skips. It's just too long-winded. So no, if that happens, I just accept the return. But I think this is the first return I've had for that reason. I've sold hundreds of vinyl records, so it doesn't tend to be an issue. But now I've said that, open the floodgates.
Hi to Gary and hi to Ian, and we've got Neil in as well. So I thought we'd discuss we've got our best sale, which we normally talk about, and the best pickup.
Oh yeah, sale.
So what's your best sale?
Sale is a really tricky one. We're looking back at the sparsity of last week, and a lot of my sales have been quite kind of boring items. But I did sell one of these, which is like a little oil lamp.
Yeah.
I bought 5 of them. They're really in bad condition. I think you should get these in much better condition. I think they cost me about £2 each. And it's only a £10 sale.
Sprayed and just sort of sprayed.
Yeah.
Overspray.
They're really rusty as well. So I think when I get them in future, I'll make sure they're in really good condition. But these only cost like about £1 or £2 each. So to sell one for, I think it went for about £12. I was quite sort of glad just to sell the first one, because it's the first time I've ever sold those. And I'll definitely look out for a lot more of those. I know the global thrifters are sort of big into their lamps and things.
I've sold a few of them. The sort of thing I used to get at the auctions quite a bit.
I think if they're in good condition, it can be like 20, 25, something like that. So if you can pick them up for a couple of £. And also sold some spotlights, which again it seems nothing, and it was only like a £10 sale. It's just like a spotlight you'd put on a light fitting, but it was old stock, and as I've been really trying to push the old stock, every time I get something that I've had for like over a year, I'm kind of like, great, well, that's gone. You know, my trying to get it out the door has worked, and it was a return customer as well. So it's just typical. I've had 2 of them, like, you know, just randomly sitting in. It would have been out of a haul, and then they've been sitting around for a year, and then both of them go. Yeah, within a short space of time. Why he didn't buy them at the same time, I don't know. But he bought one, and then about a week later, he bought the other one. So.
That's good. What about yourself, Nick?
Yeah, really good sales have been thin on the ground, I'll be perfectly honest. One yesterday that stood out, though, I managed to get 30 quid for a Monopoly, just because it was in really nice condition. I mean, you can pick them up on eBay for a tenner. You know, the big red box long ones.
Yeah, I saw you show that one.
You know what I'm going to say? It wasn't ripped in half, was it?
He's frozen.
He's frozen. He doesn't want to answer the question.
He's pretending to freeze. He's doing that thing where he's just staying still.
Did I?
No, you're coming back. I stirred in there for a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're breaking up, Nick.
Oh, he's back. He's back. He's back. Back in the room.
The screen went blank.
You missed my joke about the torn in half Monopoly board.
Oh, good.
We'll be talking about
I'm sure you left on purpose. I was worried that you just left the screen and you weren't coming back.
The point of that is it's an interesting one because condition is key, and I listed it as immaculate, and I got, you know, more than double what they're going for because of that. So it is worth kind of pushing the price because collectors or just buyers in general will pay a premium for immaculate condition things. The other one was I got rid of the other Sylvanian's house I picked up for 60 quid, which I was really happy with because it's big and bulky and it's out of the way. But yeah, that was a nice sale.
I sold 2 striped garden chairs, which I bought at the car boot sale last year. So I've had them for quite a while. Bought them for £25. I sold them for £134.
No.
But that was on an offer. I did have them on for £160.
So what are they like? 1970s?
They're
aluminium frame ones?
They're 1950s, but they've been recovered. But recovered really well. You could tell that the quality's there. This is according to the person I bought them off. They're recovered. Whether it was the original stuff in it.
Is it just like a deck chair, or is it like a garden chair?
It was like a metal chair, but it's quite a substantial thing. It wasn't like your normal folding garden chairs. It was like them, but it was, you know, a lot more sort of stable and stuff. I've actually got some more exactly the same ones, but these ones stink of smoke and are really, really tatty. So I don't think I'd be getting the same price for them. Well, I think these new ones cost me £5 for the pair, so might get £50 for them maybe.
I think Sailor of the Week goes to you for that then. That's epic. I love that.
Very good.
Yeah,
fun to pack as well, or was it a pickup?
No, I've still got to send them, still got to pack them. But relatively easy. I don't mind that. I wrap them in cardboard. Basically.
Just get loads and loads of cardboard, isn't it? And like one way, the other way.
I get bicycle boxes and just basically cut the end, so it's basically a massive long bit of cardboard.
Yeah.
I just basically wrap it, send it parcel force. I think it's like £8 or something. So yes, that's not too bad.
I did manage to pick up this week a load of. It's fantastic on Sunday because I was completely shattered going to the boot fair on Sunday. Kind of, it was one of those Sundays like, I don't really want to go. And I got in there, and literally within about 5 minutes, I got a small box of vintage Arnold N-gauge train stuff. So there were like 4 engines in there, and it was off a bloke I bought off before. I bought some kind of immaculate Hornby stuff, new in box, like engines and stuff. So I always know it's good. And I saw him on about the 3rd or 4th row and just made a beeline for him. I was like, okay, what have you got? And I didn't have enough money, and I had to borrow £40 off Pete, which he's going to do my kneecaps if I don't pay him back soon.
I think when you sell them, you need to ask Peter needs to ask you for the commission.
Well, no, he's not getting a cut. No, I'll give him his 40 quid back quick. We're going to the same boot fair on Saturday, I think, so I'm going to give it back to him then. But normally I know quite a few people who are at that one, but it just so happened this week it was only sort of like Pete I knew was there for sure. and he was selling. So I was like, Pete, what row you in? What row you in? So I had to get 40 quid off him. But it was so nice, like just getting in there, buying this box of stuff. There was a little bit of like FOMO, you know, what could I have got? But to get home at about, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock and go, oh, I've got my Sunday back. And I've got a, you know, I've got probably about like 40 trains I can list because they're all tiny little things. And it's just like the perfect pickup. It's small.
Yeah, N gauge is almost like half the size of double O, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
tiny.
yeah, probably less than that. I mean, it really, it was like just you know, a box you would get photocopy paper in, but it's just rammed full of these trains. And
Yeah, I've seen the video. That was an interesting video.
And all labelled up with prices. Like the engines I bought for 50 quid each, and I didn't really haggle on that price. And they were the price label on them. Some of them were like £200, and that price label was from 1982 or something. And it's like, well, if it was 200 then, it probably be down in price. But it's just quite exciting to check that all out. So
yeah, that was a great find.
Did you go sourcing, Nick?
Well, I did share on the Sunday, but I grabbed them just so I can look at them again because I'm so excited. I got a load of D&D stuff, and it's so in at the moment because of Stranger Things, and there's some scenes in that with the Hellfire Club where they're playing this exact stuff. I've had offers on this stuff already. I haven't sold. Have I sold any of it yet? No, I don't think so. But yeah, some of the hardback books. And then some of the like add-on adventures that I've just listed for 50, for example.
I got a similar pickup to that, probably, you know, in my first year of reselling, and I knew it was valuable because I, you know, bought the stuff when I was about 11. I'd had like loads of that stuff, but I'd got the first edition of one of, I think it was the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons manual. It's got like a great big demon on the cover, and it was a really, really rare edition of it. And I can't remember how much that sold for, but it was in the hundreds. It was absolutely amazing.
Oh,
but
wow!
But it is incredible. Something like he's literally like, you can sort of say, yeah, that is money right in front of you. You know?
Yeah, it was so nice to find it. And that's one of the original 1985 screens that the Dungeon Master would sit behind and control proceedings. And
not a lot of those around.
If you're watching Stranger Things, you'll have seen the scene where the guy is behind this controlling the game. It's just, yeah, such a perfect timing find for that as well.
Yeah, nice. I picked up an Alone in the Dark big box PC game on floppy disk. He wanted £3 for it. I got him down to £2. This was quite near the end of the boot sale as well. You know, it was getting towards the tail end of the boot sale. So it'd been sitting there.
How much is that
on his table? It's already sold for £31.50. So I was quite pleased for that. It's off to Italy. GSP.
Oh, nice.
So Yodel is bringing it to the GSP shipping centre as we speak. I'm risking my 30 quid with Yodel. But it should be okay.
Don't talk to me about Yodel.
Retro Limits has asked, has anybody noticed eBay automatically leaving feedback on purchases?
No.
That's really dodgy. Why? That's a glitch.
I've never. That's the first time I've heard that can actually happen.
Yeah, mine's set up to leave it automatically after they've left it for me.
That's what I do. Yeah.
But it could be an issue if you've not got any options set up. It's defaulting to some, you know, automatically once they've paid. I don't know. It's got to be in
your options, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe the options accidentally been ticked or something. But yeah, I've not seen it or heard about it.
It's Pete Harrison asking how much money we take to the boot fair. Now, normally I'm kind of about 200 or 300 quid. Sometimes I know I'm going to buy a bunch of stuff because I've spoken to the guy already, and I might take an extra couple of hundred if I've got something already organised. But around about 200 or 300 on a kind of normal day.
About the same for me. I've been taking 200 recently, but now I'm starting to go to 2 boot sales on the Sunday. I really need more because I did actually run out a couple of boot sales ago.
It's kind of weird when you run out like quickly.
I had gone round, so I was pretty much finished. But
yeah,
probably a couple of things I could have bought.
I mean, normally if I do get caught out, I do know someone at the boot fair I can borrow off, and I know, and I've lent people. It's not like I'm always borrowing money, but I've lent people money as well if they just find themselves like got a good deal and they're 50, 60 quid short. So
on that subject, Dave's in ABL reselling. I think I saw him do a PayPal transfer or a bank transfer on boot sale store once, or pay with his card somehow. So that's always an option.
Yeah. 200 is about what I would take normally. And every now and again I would spend it all. Usually at the boot sales I go to, there's a cash point not that far away. I've put deposits on things and driven off to get cash before.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's getting out and getting back in if it's a busy boot sale.
It can be a nightmare, but I've put money down and gone away.
Yeah, my Saturday boot sale, there's an Asda just opposite, so I can go and get stuff there. I do take load of money with me anyway, just because I know I'm going to spend on it. But if my guy's there and I end up getting a lot of stuff, then sometimes I've had to nip up to the cash point. Stu's in. Hi, Stu. Retro Tech. Special shops stopping accepting in-post parcels. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. That's a bit annoying because I basically take a lot of in-post stuff to my parcel shop.
I haven't used Hermes for ages actually, because I've got UPS at the bottom of my road, but that is a bit of a pain. But it's only a few more pence to actually choose the actual Hermes option, isn't it? So I can imagine it is annoying, but
I've been using Yodel quite a bit, I must admit.
I thought you couldn't drop in post at Hermes anyway, so I never have.
Yeah. Up to now, since it came out in post, I did it to start with when you got those really good deals, and I just took them to the parcel shop.
I've seen some posts. I think it was Andrew had a problem with. He sent something Hermes and Yodel delivered it, something along those lines, and it was genuine. They'd reprinted a label and it had Andrew's address on it, I think. So whether Hermes is struggling or something, or Every, whatever they call themselves nowadays, is struggling, they're outsourcing it to the couriers. I know that the lockers get collected by 2 different couriers now. I think Hermes and another one in busy parts of London and things like that. So, Richard likes to have a surplus, likes to have an emergency £80 stashed in the back of his wallet. Yeah. I think it was last year I sort of kept some money in my glove box in my car as like an emergency fund. But occasionally that gets spent and I forget to refill it.
I started doing that where if I take, let's say 200 for example, I would leave like 100 in the car, and it's because I'm still scared of losing my wallet again, which happened to me once at a boot sale. I had my wallet, lose it, got stolen, and once at a jumble sale I've lost my wallet twice. So now I try and remember to keep half the money in the car. So if it happens again, I don't lose all the money.
Closet Geek has popped in and he has prompted us to get on with the topic.
We've got.
I suppose we best talk about this promoted listings business. Yeah, so we can move on to that. As if most of us probably are aware, they're getting rid of the 1% promotion minimum rate and changing it to 2%. Both you guys have done videos. If anybody wants to check those videos out.
Rant City.
A bit of a rant video, I think. So what are your thoughts on that? I think it's just a money grab by eBay.
Yeah, I think it pretty much is.
If I go first quickly, it's pretty obvious what I thought by that video. I just think it's so cynical. But I was more pissed off with how they worded it in that pathetic message, which tried to spin it that, we're doing this to make things better for you and to make your, it's like, no, nothing has changed. We're all on this basic level still, unless we choose to pay more. But the basic level is double the cost. That's all that's changed. And they spin it. I can't remember the wording, but it was just laughable.
Yeah.
How they tried to make out they were doing it to do us a favour. It's like, what?
I think it's done is it's stirred it up really and made people think if you do promoted listings, it's made you question why you're actually doing it. And it's certainly what I've done because, I was saying that I got tired of my older stuff that's been hanging around for over a year or so. So I was really trying to push it out. And last week I went in and was doing like max promotion of 10%, thinking it would have a huge effect. And thinking, right, I'm 10%. eBay are going to wave their magic wand, and I'm going to get some interest on these items, and nothing happened. So I kind of got to thinking, well, 10%, is that any different from 5%? Different from 2%, 1%?
The problem is there's no real structure. They don't really tell you what they're going to do or how they're going to do it.
No.
These extra. It's just, oh yeah, I'll give a little bit of a bigger number, and you hope that they're gonna do something different. But
I mean, at the kind of like the majority of people will probably just do the minimum because everyone else is doing it. So I can understand why people have to jump on that train and go with the 1%. But the actual benefits on doing more than that is only if you are selling. Chris was talking about it earlier, like a multi-quantity item where there's masses of competition, and he
phones or laptops or something
exactly like that. So for me, like trying to promote a tracksuit top that hasn't sold, really, I shouldn't be looking to promote that. I should be looking to sort of look at my title, look at my photos, look at my price point, and look as to whether it's any good at all.
Yeah. That was going to be my point actually next. And we had a discussion, Andrea and I, and she's going to take it off all of hers because most of what she does is ceramics, collectibles, homeware. Most of the time, they're not unique, but they're unusual, So you're not really, it's not a competition of numbers. Whereas with a lot of what I do, the books, the media, the games and that, there's hundreds on eBay. So you might say that it should benefit me doing promoted, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do from here. It's a tricky one.
I mean, I've always promoted at 1%, but I did forget. I end the promotions. I think Car Boot Chris does a similar thing. He ends them and starts new ones every week, and I basically do the same thing if I remember to do it. That is, which I often don't. But yeah, I decided. To up it to like 5%, and I didn't notice any difference.
No,
and I also forgot to start the new promotion, so I ended them, and then because you've got to wait. I think you've got to wait like half an hour before you can promote everything again.
Because all your listings won't appear. It takes time.
Yeah, it takes time to update, so you can't just end it and then redo a new one. So you got to wait a little while.
Yeah.
So I forgot to do it. And I waited about half a week or something like that, and my sales absolutely plummeted. Whether they would have done anyway, it might have just been a bad week. But when I was thinking, I'm not making any sales here.
Well, I was
end the promotion and start a new one.
Yeah,
thinking that was the reason, and I noticed I hadn't actually got any promoted. So now that worries me. I think, well, really, you do need to promote them at least at 1%. So basically, I'm going to have to go to 2% now.
Yeah. When is it from? Is it sort of?
It's from the 11th of July.
11th. Yeah. The thing with this, and I think I said this when it first came out, is that we will never know if we get a sale through promoted. We will never know if that sale would have come through anyway, if they'd have found us or found it, regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was a lot of talk then that this was a money grab then when they started it a couple of years ago, whenever it was. And we still don't really know if it's helping us or how much it is. We just know we pay when we get a sale through it. That's all we actually know.
I mean, I always look at impressions and impression stage from when you start off a campaign. Say if you went from nothing promoted to everything promoted at 1%, you would notice a huge increase in your impressions. and that's kind of like oh wow, you've got more people with eyes on your item. But those impressions, some of the the numbers behind that can be just eBay popping up a similar item. It's not that someone's actually like searched it and got it on their search items. It can be like if you're looking at an item and you get similar items at the bottom suggested by eBay, it can be that. And I sometimes get those, and I don't look at them at all really. It's definitely not guiding me towards a sale. I had a multi-quantity listing about a month ago, and I was promoting that to try and get above like a lot of other sellers who were selling the same product. And the only way I could really get to the top consistently was to have the local price. So when I was trying to sell it for about £5 more, and putting 2%, I think, was on it. Sometimes I would see it at the top when it had, when I'd just done it, or maybe but it wasn't all the time.
What about using the advanced version of?
I've never done that.
See, if you do that, then you can force it to be at the top, I think. But you have to choose certain keywords.
I just don't have the stuff for it. I mean, that was one example where I had a multi-quantity of a quite popular product, but that happens so rarely that it's questioned my whole thing about promoted listings. And I mean, it's strange with eBay. I have thought about, I always want to be the sort of like bestseller, and I've thought about what are the things I can really do. So few years ago, I thought, okay, to get like I don't know what it was, some sort of badge, you had to dispatch in one day, you had to offer free postage options.
The Seller Plus, I think.
Seller Plus, not top rated seller, because I've got that, because that's on your metrics, but it was Seller Plus. So I thought, well, I'll try that. And, worked all my listings around getting that. And then I thought, this is ridiculous because it's not making any difference. I may as well have, paid postage on my listings, 3-day dispatch to give me a bit of breathing space, and just be competitive on price. Because I think that's the thing that is key really. It's the price, and if the listing's good.
I remember when they brought out the promoted listings like a few years ago. When you promoted something, it appeared in the list twice, didn't it? You used to get the sponsored one and the normal one. That doesn't happen now, does it?
No, I don't think so.
So that used to be a big benefit, but of course that's gone. So really, you do wonder why it's worth promoting at all.
Well, I kind of looked on it as a kind of lazy option for not having to review your listings.
It's sort of like
eBay would do the legwork for me.
Yeah, it's something you do and you think, right, okay, I've promoted it. So that would be
sorted.
Now,
But then when you
really?
when I look at my solds, and I'll say to anyone in the chat, look at your last 200 solds, and how many of them are stuff you've promoted because you've had it a long time? I think it'll be very, very, very few. So what I take from that is just have a regular routine where you're going in and looking at take them off, reassessing them, and doing a sell similar.
I think a lot of us, me included, kind of add the 1% or 1.5% or whatever you're feeling at the time, just because it's there and you think, oh, well, I better add, just in case it's the magic button that makes the sale happen. And the cynic in me thinks that this was eBay's ruse all along. They'll just have it there, and it's just a sales tax, really.
Yeah, and now they've managed to double it. It's like
and that was the gist of my rant, that nothing's really changed apart from the bottom line being twice as expensive, and we still don't really know if it helps us or whether we would have got the sales before. We just know it's twice as expensive now to get in at the bottom.
So Richard says he promotes some at 1%, never promoted above that. So Richard only promotes in certain categories. Is that what you guys do? I promote the whole of my store. It's time, I just think, right, I'll just do the lot.
Well, mine is driven by how long I've had it on the store. So when they first go on, they don't get promoted. But then if I've still got the item, like longer than a month, and I review it every month. If I've had it longer than a month and less than 3, it goes on 1%. If I've had it 3 to 6 months, it's 2%. 6 to 12 months, 3%.
Right.
And then up to 10% for stuff I've had for over 2 years.
Right.
Which really I shouldn't have stuff for over 2 years. So, but I did, before I was tried to do this 10%, my max was 5%, all the suggested. But like I say, I was just trying to really kind of cut myself away from this older stuff. But it didn't do anything. So disappointing when you sort of like, you're kind of saying, is 10% of what I'm going to get from it, and that could be with a 10% offer as well, or even more than that. And you kind of think, I'm practically giving this away
You're
now,
giving it away.
because these items would have gone through months of having their price reduced. And I thought today, I should just get all this stuff and stick it on 99p auction, because stuff I've had 2 years, it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. It's kind of
the problem. The problem
the
is
sale would be better,
If it's been there for so long, you put it on 99p auction. If it's not very popular, you're going to get the 2 people you need to push the price up, or you're just going to get the one bid.
No, it's just the fact that I'm kind of thinking all these items are probably, the majority of them have probably been reduced down to around about a 5, because I don't want to go any lower than that. So I think, well, if I stick them on 99p, it may be like a ridiculous price for them to go at. And if they don't go at that, then I will, take them down the charity shop. But if they do go, then, all eBay likes sales. So, if I can just generate some sales out of it rather than it being an item that's been there for 2 years,
you see
then that's a little bit of benefit to me back,
It's you'll get some metrics from it. And possibly
get some metrics. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to do, is get some positive metrics out of eBay.
Yeah.
Going back to how much we promote, I was tending to promote everything. But more and more recently, and particularly now, I think, in the light of us all kind of rethinking the strategies. Well, these are a good example. I listed all this D&D stuff. I don't think there's any point in promoting it. It's unusual, it's rare. Well, it's not particularly rare, but there's not many available, and the demand is high. So why am I going to give eBay an extra 2% when it's going to sell anyway?
If you're not silly with the price, if you're pricing it right, it will go.
Or even the stuff that I have gone top end with, I've already had offers, international offers on those. So, because I've got global shipping on it, I'm reaching a wider audience than perhaps most people that have those in stock. They're going to sell. So I don't think I put it on any of these. Can't remember exactly, but because I don't think there's any point, because the demand is high. They're relatively uncommon.
Yeah, I agree with that. Although I end my promotions and restart them more or less every week. If I put something on, a new thing on eBay, I don't promote it to begin with. So if it goes on the Monday, say, and I restart the promotion on the Sunday, I have to wait until the next Sunday before that item will get promoted. So I sort of allow new items to, hopefully get a purchase. If it's a decent item, it will sell before, like that Alone in the Dark game, for example. That sold a few days after I listed it, so that wasn't promoted. But I would have promoted if it was still on there, next week or whatever. Stu doesn't promote. He hasn't noticed any sort of difference after not promoting.
Good evening, lovely Cliff.
Has anybody actually tested to see how much extra it earns? It's very hard.
Yeah, how can you quantify that? Because you don't have the information of whether it would have sold anyway. That's the flaw with trying to quantify if it's worth doing. You can switch it all off your whole store and try and work it out on, has my weekly income gone down, and then switch it all back on and see. But even that's not an exact science.
All you can really go on is, you go in and look at, that impressions graph, and there's 3 graphs on the impressions and then the sales graph. And to me, it seems that if you start a promotion from not doing any promotions, you will get an initial kick, and then it goes after a few days. So
Yeah, I've noticed that.
you do kind of think, well, would I, if I'd have
this-
just sort of like reviewed my listings or pushed out loads of offers or, done something else in bulk, really worked at it, would I have got that anyway?
Well, this is why I end them and start the new promotion. So it sort of kicks it all into life. Well,
You've got to think what it's actually, doing. So you say, okay, I'm going to pay like 1% or 2% or 10%. So for a period of time, when someone searches something similar, it will just appear somewhere on their screen. Now, unless the price is good, I mean, if you're trying to sell something which is competitive anyway, they're going to get your one, and no doubt someone else is selling one that's sponsored, and the one that's going to win out of that is the one that's better in price or better listed.
Well, I watched the advanced pay-per-click version of promoted listings. They're like tutorial earlier. Just I was looking at for this, researching for this show.
Yeah,
and they basically said that if you list it at a certain price and you choose your keywords and stuff, you can go to like the top of the list, but not necessarily. It says that it also things affect. It depends on your competition. It depends on your keywords in your listing, how good your listing is in eBay's eyes. So they're not saying you promote at this, we're going to push you to the top. It all depends on these other things so they can't really give you a guarantee. They can't sort of say you do this and we will do this. It doesn't work like that, So
well, that's the thing. The whole thing is vague. Vague, unpredictable, unquantifiable, and yet we're all kind of doing it regardless, or most of us are having a go anyway. It's really weird. I mean, Ian's just popped in. Hi, Ian, and saying, asking the question. So, what do you actually get between 1% and 2%? The answer is we don't really know. And
if you think about it, it's a percentage, right? So
it's time. I think
if you're choosing between 1% and 2%, that amount is tiny. If you're going from 1% to 100%,
yeah.
So 1 to 10% is a tiny little adjustment to whatever it is.
What does it do if you put 100% apart from take all your money?
I wonder who does. If you put something at 100%, you should try it really on a really rubbish item.
Try it on a real rubbish item. Because it should guarantee a sale, shouldn't it? Because
that would be an interesting video. I'm going to switch this item to 100% promoted. How quick will it sell?
Yeah, you'd end up losing money on it, wouldn't you, because of the fees? But,
of course you would. Yeah.
Don't do it on an expensive item.
It's worth doing for the video. Shall I do that? Shall I have a go? Just pick an item and say.
We'll do one each and then we'll have a race.
That's not a bad idea, actually. We could do one each.
It's a reseller promotion race.
Right. You could do it live. Just kick it off live and then sit there waiting.
Yeah, I've only had this item 2 years.
Haven't sold yet.
Maybe we should all do that, and then we'll report back next week.
I think it'd be good for eBay. I sort of mentioned that it'd be good if they. It seems like they don't seem to be doing much to help the small reseller at all, and if they gave better advice on having better search engine optimization in your listing. So, if you are listing an item of clothing or some electronics, what is the best way to set it out? I mean, I know a lot of people sort of will have an idea. If you've got clothing, you've got to have brand and size and color in the first sort of 5 words. But to have that from eBay, like a guide to optimizing your title and optimizing your listing. Everyone knows that everything should be filled out, but when you get things that seem quite bizarre for item specifics, what should you do? That's what I'd like to hear from eBay.
Yeah. So there's all these videos. There's a lot of videos all about it. I think
but nothing from eBay. So if I'm
it's no concrete.
If I'm listing, I don't know, a toy, and then you kind of get these categories that say character or just obscure item specifics. Is it better to leave them blank? Is it better to put NA? Is it better to put unknown? Is it better to make something up? Because I've talked about this a fair bit, and I've had lots of different resellers who I kind of respect, but they all say different things. So nobody really knows.
See?
So if eBay gave some sort of guidance on, okay, here's the best way you can set up a listing. Title needs to be full, and it needs first 5 words. You should try and hit these things. And item specifics, if you're unsure, either leave it blank or fill it in or put NA. All that sort of guidance would be invaluable, really.
Yeah.
I think I do agree with you in the main, but we've all searched an item, right, to see solds, and you see the shocking state of some listings that sell for the top end of what you're going to go for, right? You've seen them with the pictures out of focus in a dark room, in
Oh, totally. And I've had stuff.
And the title says 3 words and no item specifics filled in, and they sold it for the top money.
Yeah.
So and I think that the fundamental is it comes down to the quality of your item and the demand. The rest of it's kind of
a bit of luck,
and it can't hurt. But that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, because I was looking for an item on eBay earlier, and it's quite a unique item, and I found it. There was about 2 or 3 available, and it was down to the price and
I can't.
I felt about the listing. It is not really anything more than that.
When,
I found them all. It wasn't like I couldn't see the others. Yeah.
When I've been looking at some of my sort of old listings, and I take them off and I put them back on, and I sort of research sold and sort of think, oh, what have other ones sold at? I hate it when I see the same item, and I've had mine on for like 2 years, and someone has sold it for a higher price, and the listing is shocking. It's like, why does that happen?
I know.
I've seen that. I thought, why would you bought mine? Mine's nicer.
This is what I was getting at before, and it flies in the face of everything you think should work and not work, right? And then you think, how has that Muppet sold it with those pictures and that description, and mine's cheaper?
And then you see someone you know. It's like, what?
Exactly.
Nick has removed his promotions. If everyone goes along with 2%, and it will next jump to 3% and 4%, then 5%. I used to hear about people doing 1.5%, 1.1%, and I
just to get ahead of the 1%ers.
Yeah, but no one knows if that made any sort of difference, whether it rounds up, rounds down. Who knows?
I don't know.
But again, we're talking such a small difference, aren't we? If we're talking about a percentage, then these figures, if you promote 1% and promote 10%, what does it? What can it do more than?
No, and because going back to what we keep saying, because it's an inexact science, we don't really know the answers. It is tempting to go, well, if I go 1.6, I'm going to jump ahead of X, Y, and Z. But again, going back to my video, the only person that's benefiting from that, when you think about the millions of items, those fractions of percentages are huge when it comes to the revenue eBay's making out of it.
Totally.
Do
you try any of those other sort of things like coupon offers? Or, I mentioned earlier that I tried to get that, what was it there? The if you offer free post and 1-day dispatch,
the top seller plus,
top seller perks, which I think is 10% off your final value fee or something like that. Which
that's tiny if you think.
Oh well, I think so. It's 10% of 10%. It was hardly anything.
It's a lot of jumping through a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
I don't pay that any mind whatsoever.
I put on best offer. I send out offers to watchers every day. I do. I have done the promotions, but I will cut that back to the minimum now. I don't know if I'll completely switch them off, but I haven't tried coupons a lot. And a lot of people said they've done that with success, like just like a blanket 5% coupon.
I did it because you can create a coupon, then you can send it to people who you do the offers to watchers. You can make it so if they if they don't accept your offer, it will then send them the coupon.
It's
So
worth thinking about, because obviously eBay set up all these things, and again, if you try them all out and use them, there's got to be something that sort of says, they're trying to sell the item. They're not just chucking it up there and leaving it. They have sent coupons, they have sent offers, they are reviewing it. There's all that activity.
That's why I do a lot of this stuff. It's to get activity on my store. Like eBay can see that you're doing something. You're not just putting stuff live and forgetting about it. You're working. You're doing stuff.
Yeah, the offers is the one tool I've wholeheartedly embraced. Everything else, I might have looked at it and maybe given it a passing bit of interest, but the offers one, I get sales every day from offers. And
it's sometimes a bit frustrating, but if you can just sort of ride that out of the silly offers. And again, a good tip is, even if you get if you've got a £30 item and you get a £5 offer, never decline an offer. Always go back with £26.99 or 25 quid or whatever. Because if you decline it, eBay will seeing that you are declining it. So if it's metric wise, it's not great. You always
I do decline sometimes, because what I do when I get an offer, if I'm around on the PC, that is look at like their history. I try to see if they leave negative feedback, that sort of thing, and whether when they last bought something, if they haven't bought anything or received feedback for a year, I think they're not going to pay. And
if it's a sea of red in the feedback left for others, then I will kind of decline block.
That's when I decline and block. But generally, I will counter offer. Otherwise, usually I have auto decline on, and if it does actually come through to me, then I'm probably going to accept.
I wouldn't do an auto decline myself. I can understand if it takes up a lot of your time, that would be useful. But for me, I will always look at every offer, and I will always send an offer back, no matter how low their offer was. It will just go back with no, actually, I want 5 or 10% within the price, or maybe more if it's been on the store for a long time.
I'm just not so keen on selling something or trading with someone, having the risk of getting a return or negative feedback with somebody who's offered £2 on a £100 item. I don't really want to deal with that person.
Well, what normally happens is it gets to the point where they've run out of offers. They use their 3, so they might go, okay, I want that £30 item for 5, 8, 10, and then that's it. That's their last one, and I've gone back with £25. But I always make them run out of goes.
Yeah.
I was just reading the comment you highlighted. I don't know if you read that one already, but I think it's a good point. And if you're raising up at the odd percentage, but there's other people prepared to be with the same item at 5 or 10%, what's the point? Kind of, you see what I mean? It's like, and you'll never know what other people are doing.
No, well, that's it. I think the general consent. Well, I'm going on what we hear about in our community is a lot of people just do 1%, don't they?
Yeah.
So everybody will now be 2%.
I get the feeling that's what eBay has noticed, right? People aren't really engaging. Some people are engaging and messing around with the percentages, but most people are just sticking it on and leaving it there at 1%. So tell you what, if we make that too, you see what I mean? It's the most cynical thing they've ever done. Don't get me started again. I was just going to quickly, while I think of it, David Moore has put a point in about how about taking 5 identical items, listing them. The problem with that is eBay would tell you can't have those 5 items listed separately.
You could get different sellers doing it, but then each different seller's store metrics, I think, would have an effect on it.
Yeah.
So it really is
really wangle it and have different titles and different photos, because I've come across this with very similar items. eBay saying, no, you can't do that.
You can have 2 used ones, though, can't you? I do that fairly regularly. I have like two of the same item, like 2 amplifiers, say, completely the same.
You can do that because they might be slightly different conditions. I do that with I've had box Wii's They'll
That
all
would-
be individual items.
That could work if I found 2 or 3 used items and put them on with the same title, same condition, different photos because they're different items.
I think what's interesting with promotion items, though, it kind of assumes that someone, looking to buy something on eBay just searches for their item and then leaves it at that. And the search that comes up is what's the filter that you normally, it's like the most best match. They leave it on best match. Now, thinking about it, I would imagine that a lot of the percentage of people who use eBay will go on, search for an item, and then sort by, lowest price plus P&P, just to sort of see what best offer they can get. Certainly, I would think that is got to be like around about half the people, if not more, would do that sort. Now, I do admit that there, will be people who just don't touch it, don't know how to do it.
I'm not sure if it's that percentage of people. So a lot of the time, if I'm chatting to somebody who's on eBay or any shopping sort of platform, and they say, "Oh, I found this," and I go, "Oh, right, okay, is that the cheapest you can get?" And I said, "Oh, I'm not sure." And I said, "Have you searched for the cheapest?" No, it's just the one that I found.
Just the one that comes up.
So I'm not convinced that a lot of people do actually. Maybe it's a reseller thing because we're always looking for the.
Well, it could be, but
I don't know.
Even if it's like, you're never going to know the numbers. But even if it was only a third of the people who actually sort it by lowest price, if you are the best priced, if you have priced it the best, you're going to be at the top of that list because you are the lowest price. Whereas if you're in the other sort of group where people are just leaving it to best match and you're promoted, you have no idea whether you're going to be at the top of that search or not, because there could be like hundreds of other people promoting the same item.
Well,
so
the other night I was looking at some of my listings and I was looking on best match to see where I was on the list, and I was way down the list.
You weren't on the list.
And I promote mine, so how far should I be promoting to appear higher? And even if I did, would I appear higher?
Yeah.
In that,
the listings were better than the other people's listings, cheaper prices.
In that vein, to pick you up on that point, Pete, and I think that the best way to generate sales quickly and generate turnover quickly is to be keen on price.
Yeah, to get it right first time as well.
Because it doesn't fail, and most people are price conscious, and a lot of people do that exact search you've said, cheapest first. So, and I have evolved over the 20 years I've been doing this. I am way more keen on price. It depends on the item a lot.
It does depend, like your D&D stuff. If you went on and searched that now and you saw there,
I'm not the cheapest on any of it, I don't think.
No, but that's going to go.
But that's different, yeah.
If you had a green N64 boxed, and you saw that some have sold for 70, but there is one on for eBay at the moment for 40. Your brain goes, it's a bit like the old Amazon ranking sort of thing. Your brain goes, well, that one's going to go in a matter of days, if not hours, and then mine's going to come along. And that's experience of knowing,
and that's knowing the quality and the rarity of your item. It's a whole different conversation, isn't it? And it's about knowing how to do those searches and do completed listings and working out. If I discount these lowballing people and those ones on auction, I could hang on and get 50 quid for this.
Yeah.
Hopefully within the month or so. But with other items, if you take that approach, you've got it for a decade, right?
Well, yeah.
It's an interesting one.
Richard says you can list identical if it's used.
Yeah, it's a good point. And that would be an interesting experiment. I just don't know what item I could do it with.
I think if you're going to do something like that, it'd be something like a Wii setup, because there's so many people have got those.
Yeah, you could have a Wii. You could have several Wiis, and they might have scratches on different places. So they have to be separate, really.
I've got a load of Wiis. I've got a load of Wiis, and they haven't sold, so I might try it with that.
I could easily set up something like that with media.
CDs or something.
3 or 4 different items that are essentially exactly the same, but because they use different pictures, and then promote them with a whole range of different things and just see what happens.
Yeah, so if you did like, I don't know, 1%, 5%, 10%, and 20% or something, in theory, the 20% one should go first.
There's
Yes.
a comment there by Retro Tech saying, do eBay still charge fees on postage? I think they do charge fees on postage. What I didn't realise, someone mentioned it, was that if you're paying for a promotion and the sale is GSP, isn't the charge more or something? I heard someone say that, and it maybe kind of, because I know that the price that the buyer pays is huge, and I was thinking, well, it can't be taking that into account.
Well, you get some sort of extra tax that you got.
Is it just a little bit extra? It's not like a huge amount.
Yeah, there's a little bit extra on for the selling.
Right.
But
okay.
Also, previously on promoted listings, you didn't pay the percentage on the postage cost.
Yeah, you do now.
Changed it about a month ago, so you now pay the percentage on the total price, including the postage.
It's another good reason to put you off, really. I mean, I honestly think that all this has done is put people's backs up and made them look at what they're actually doing, and either jack it in altogether, or just go, you know, if they are doing a 5% or a 10%, do kind of what I've done and go, well, it's not doing anything anyway. You know, I may as well cut it right back to the minimum. Now, fair enough, if you're someone who's selling like 500 shirts every day or phone covers or whatever, and you need it to get up to the top of that listing. But I don't need to get up to the top of hundreds of people selling the same item because they're not there. You know, my stuff isn't selling because it's not a popular item or the listing isn't good. Derek's turned into a reel.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there, Derek. You've vanished.
Hang on.
I was going to say, I think that the psychology of it was terrible because people don't like being told what they can and can't do, right?
Yeah.
Particularly business owners. And I just think this was a really badly calculated move on their part. And you are right. I think it's going to turn a lot more people off to using promoted full stop. So it's going to backfire on them. I don't think it was a good move in any way, shape or form.
Yeah. I've heard a few people say, oh, you know, I hope it does put people off because it'll mean my listings are at the top. But, and you know, I don't know if I jack it in all together. Like I say, it just makes me think about what does a 5% do compared to a minimum, and what does a 10% do? And I honestly don't think, I can't see that it does anything at all. And you do get people saying, well, put your prices up by 5% to then promote it back, you know, to take into account the fact that you're promoting it. I'd rather be competitive on price.
I think you would on a balance maybe lose more sales for the people who are very price conscious and are doing searching by price, particularly if you're selling consumables or media or whatever. You don't want to really push the price in order to lose the sale based on price.
I can understand needing to go in at a 1%, and Shazad's just in the chat. I remember him saying probably about 2-3 years ago, you know, just get on that. And I can see if you're outside of that, how that might impact. But anything over and above that, and you know, unless it's the kind of item that fits it, I just do not think it's worth it at all.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are coming to that conclusion. I really do.
Because they've sent out this message. I mean, I wouldn't have thought about it otherwise. I really wouldn't have. You know, I would have left my listings on 10%, and you know. But
one thing I said in that brief rant video, and I stand by it. If eBay had said we're changing the baseline from 1% to 2%, that's happening on July the 11th, I wouldn't have been that as pissed off. It was all the pointless, you know, flannel that was around it. Oh, this is for your benefit, and we're going to help you gain sales. And no, you're not. It was just, you know, cut that bit out, eBay.
And on the back of the bank, the bank transfer fiasco that
I know, bad timing or what. While we're not giving you your money, we're going to push this up.
They always seem to do that, don't they? eBay. There's a few things happen at the same time. They just look really, really bad.
Yeah.
On that vein, Haggis Lover says, "Going to push more people to other platforms." I think they forget there's a lot of viable options out there now for different sellers to sell elsewhere.
Yeah. Oh, Yorkshire Mix. There's an interesting comment there. I'd love to know what happens. I've just promoted a watch at 50%. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to have to come up with an experiment and do something as a video. It'll be
good.
I think the 100% one on a something
100% would be nice. 200%.
Something that you're willing to just get rid of.
I don't think you can do 200%.
I could go out and buy a whole load of, kind of in demand albums or something. Go and buy like Adele 25, 5 copies of, right? And then just list them at a whole range of percentages, including 100%, and see what happens.
In theory, the 100% one should be everywhere, shouldn't it? Should be on top of Google everywhere.
Yeah, it should go on Leicester Square. It will be on the advertising.
And I could leave them all running for a week and then do a video and just see what the hell happened.
That would make a really interesting video. Yeah, if you had like 5 of them and you did like 1%, 20%, right to 100, that would be a great video. I think. And then do a follow up on it, of course, because you'd have to sort of show it going live and then give it a week, I guess.
Yeah, I just have to hope that my viewers won't stitch it up and all just go in and buy them.
It might be worth doing it and then
I think I would. I would film it and talk about it a week later when the experiment's over.
Yeah, I guess it would be like the the Nintendo cartridge you had.
Oh yeah, wow, that really went tits up, didn't it?
You can be sure that whoever eBay algorithms work, will be in their interest. More sales. I guess that's definitely fair enough, really, but it'll be just nice to know a bit more how.
I mean, like I said earlier, I'd love it if eBay came out. I mean, they have done things that are, like final value fee offers for sellers, business sellers, but they don't. I don't think they do enough of them.
No, it hasn't been one for a long time.
For ages, and they do so many offers for private sellers. It really does, get on the nerves of people who are doing this for business, on eBay. And like I say, it doesn't necessarily have to be financial. It can just be advice on how to optimize listings with titles and filling in. They
are doing like these road shows and stuff like that across the country.
But like a good one, for example, is if you list a Vero item and there's a bot that checks it through after you've listed it and then gives you a ding. Why can't it do it at the point of entry?
Well, they do
I type in Velcro and it goes, why can't it do that? Yeah.
Well, if you type in firearm, it will come up not allowed to sell firearms on
You type in knife or
why
gun.
can't it do it? Why can't it do it with
Velcro? It's
they must have a list of words,
Yeah, ones that are banned, but we're not going to tell you just yet. We're going to let you list it, and then we'll tell you.
Exactly. Well, I had a listing for those blooming magnetics things.
Yeah, because
they pulled that. It's so, and there's loads. Of course, there's loads all over eBay selling daily.
Yeah. Yeah. I know someone. It was an Irish reseller, and she got done for using the term red sole, I think it was, for shoes.
I heard about that.
I forget who it was, but it was, and her account got taken down for a good few months. So it had and it wasn't even. I think the brand Red Sole had some sort of Vero thing, but she was just using it as a description for some shoes that had a red sole. So you can be really, really unlucky with these things,
Definitely.
Shazad says that if you're selling a congested niche, you need to use promoted listings, otherwise it doesn't matter.
Well, exactly. And how many, of sellers like us selling a congested niche.
Mm.
I might, every sort of once every 6 months, I might get an item which is in a niche, but 99% of my items are kind of like just things that are not competitive at all.
Yeah. Well, when we talked about decent sales at the beginning, I mentioned that big box Red Monopoly that I put on for 30 quid, way beyond what they normally sell for because of the condition. And I promoted that because I thought I'm going to try and push this up, get it in front of people quick, and then it will sell itself. And it sold within an hour or two.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that was a good example of it working on a common item. I don't know, though. Would it have sold anyway?
Was it what 1% promotion or?
No, I think I pushed it to 2 or 3 because I wanted to get views on it quick.
Okay, yeah.
See what I mean? And lift it above the hundreds upon hundreds that were on there.
Yeah, you just don't know, do you? You just really don't know.
Etsy actually have promoted. They've only just past 6 months maybe started a very similar sort of thing, and I thought I'd try it out. It's more of a pay-per-click thing, so you set a budget. I think eBay does. It's basically like the eBay Advanced one. Set a budget of £20 a month to spend on adverts and stuff. So I did this, and I let it go. I actually basically forgot that I'd done it, and it was just running. So I had a couple of months that I sort of remembered, and I thought, right, I'll have a look at that. And it tells you, it's Nick Frozen. I think Nick Frozen drinking it. You look like you were downing it tight.
Down it.
Yeah.
My internet's been awful. I'm sorry if I've been in and out. It's terrible.
So I forgot that I promoted these things anyway. So I went back and had a look, and it does actually show you how much you spent, which was the £20, maxed out at the £20 each month, and it tells you how many sales from that you'd made each month, and it was like £5 or something I'd made from the promotions, and it cost me £20. So I've ended all of that now. I don't do it. But it certainly didn't work for me on Etsy.
I'll say Yorkshire Mix. His watch has just come up second on the listings. Now, if you promote anything and then look at it, even if you'd have done that at 1% and checked it straight away, it probably would have come up like high on the listings. Go back and check it in 3 days. That's what you want to do.
That would be another interesting experiment to tweak and give that delay and then see where it comes. You see what I mean?
But you can do that on price. If you go if you're in an item and you search and you look at where you are on best match, you go into that item and you change the title, you change the price, and go back and search again on best match. Your position would have changed. You know, if you're say you're promoting it, say the promotion is exactly the same, 1%. If you change anything on that listing, it will change. It will change it straight away because it's just the activity, So, you need to look at things after a few days to get a good idea. Wow. And it's always better to go in incognito rather than as yourself.
I just read that comment, Derek. That's an amazing source of free stock if ever I heard one.
After 28 days, it gets to keep the lost property.
Wow.
What sort of stuff would that be then? Depends on where you work. If you worked at
I remember many moons ago, 20 years to be precise, when I was in the police force, I remember being in lost property briefly, and the stuff that was in there, and there was and there used to be a rule then. I think it was, I can't remember, 3 months, and then you could come back and claim it.
Yeah, so I think I handed in something once when I was a kid, and they said come back in a month and you can have it or something like that.
Yeah, that's how I had a really nice rally racer in the early 90s that I found in a bush, took it to the police station because I was a good boy, and then I got it given it a month later. Yeah,
there's police auctions, aren't there?
That's where it all goes if it's not claimed. Yeah. There's stuff in that
on eBay. Anyone can search up like police auctions. So.
Yeah, well, good luck, Devastation 26. Sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds like a great little deal you got going on there. I'm going to have to dash in a minute, guys. I think.
Yeah, we best call it a night. I've got to go soon as well.
It's one of those
quick,
subjects
yeah.
you could talk on forever. So.
That does annoy me. That seems to have vanished. You used to be able to see how many pence it was going to cost you.
Yeah.
You know, and on some items that I thought I would push it beyond the one, I'd think, well, I'm prepared to spend 50p to promote it or whatever if it's an expensive thing, and you'd be able to gauge that, wouldn't you?
They never mentioned the VAT as well. It's always you've always got to factor these things in.
It's just another way to make it a little bit less transparent to everybody, isn't it? Yeah, so shall we call it a night?
I think so. I need a ice cold drink, I think.
Good chat anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things which I think no one has turned around and said, what a good idea. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
No.
I'm still not convinced about the whole promoted thing. I think it's good for like new items like mobile phones and that sort of thing. But
I was sure you were going to say eBay at the end of that. So I'm sure it's good for.
It's definitely good
eBay.
for eBay. They're the only ones that are going to win, aren't they? Out of everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you for popping by, everybody, and thanks to Pete and Nick again for popping on and chatting about reselling.
A pleasure.
You got anything coming up soon, Pete, on your channel?
Not on the channel unless it's another sort of haul. I've got Boot Fair Saturday, Boot Fair Sunday, and paying Peter Ray his 40 quid back on Saturday. Got to make sure I do that. And
he'll be hunting you down. He will. He'll be like, where is he?
Yeah.
But I'm just listing like crazy at the moment to try and buck the bad sales. So it crossed my mind to do a 12-hour listing stream, but then it quickly, I saw sense very quickly. I thought that would be ridiculous. So no, but I'm just sort of making sure that I'm listing a good amount of items every day and reviewing items as well, trying to review 20 items a day at the moment and take them off, get them back on, get some of that old stuff gone.
Yeah. What about yourself, Nick?
I actually got organised and recorded a couple of videos. There's one where I go through my haul of books, so the good, the bad, and the ugly from that haul. The good stuff being the D&D, and I filmed something else. Oh yeah, I managed to pick up a Games Workshop set, which was taped up, not new sealed, but had been taped up. So I filmed going through that, which was quite interesting. That was a good find as well. So a couple of things that I just need to get edited, but I've been busy ploughing through. We had a full building survey done on the house we want to buy. Came back as a 100-page document. So I've been reading that. And I phoned the surveyor today and must have been on the phone for, it felt like an hour, talking through some of the points. Oh my goodness.
Things with them, they've really got to go through everything, haven't they? So it might be quite minor, but they've still got to mention it, I suppose. So you've got to work out what's serious and what's not.
There's a lot of food for thought. I mean, the house we're looking at was built mid-1700s, so it's a serious commitment if we take it on.
Yeah. Sounds good anyway. I've got a couple of car boot videos coming out. I'll try and get another one out by well, it's Friday tomorrow, so probably over the weekend I'll get one out. I'll be at the boot sales sourcing again Saturday and Sunday. So. Yeah. So I think we're on. Is it
on mine next week? Yeah, my channel. So if anyone in the chat wants us to talk about any sort of topic, or have got any other resellers they particularly like to sort of get on the chat and get quizzed, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
And if no one sort of puts anything, I'll have to think of something myself. I have to get my thinking cap on.
Yeah.
I've got a few ideas what we could talk about. But yeah, definitely open to take on any subjects that people want sort of like talks about. So let us know.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody already is, but please subscribe to Pete and Nick. I'm sure everybody is anyway, but
You never know. There might be the odd one. There might be the
odd one or two that might not be subscribed. And subscribe to Tap Peddler if you're not already as well. So thanks, everybody. And we'll catch you next week.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Bye-bye.